respiratory noise is usually a problem in the larynx or pharynx. So we're going to listen to it on the gallops. If it hasn't gone out already, we probably should get out time.
The yard is home to a 2-year-old fathered by the Derby winner Nashwan. Now the horse could turn out to be another superstar on the flat, but after 4 months breaking him in, the trainer is concerned that a breathing problem could wreck it all.
I don't think the news will be too good. I spoke to Bobby, you know, about a month ago about this, because I agree with him when horses sort of gargle, choke, that it's not fit, it's unfit really. But I think when you get a horse whistling, it's a different story, you know. I think you've got a problem.
Bobby and Con wait for the horse to come up the gallops, where the vet will use his listening skills to assess the young horse's condition.
Classic roarer, paralysed.
That was, it made a bit of a roar, which is quite a bad whistle going up there, so you just could hear it going. But we'll scope it just to prove that there's a problem there.
Yeah, he's roaring with me. What? Can you try him back as quick as possible? Don't like being late. What? Especially when you're going to Cheltenham.
Back at the yard, Con has got something else he'd like the vet to take a look at.
I like to think, what are they?
Sometimes you get very nervous horses.
I've seen those.
Earplugs.
Oh, I thought Ann Summers.
You know, no. Stick it in their ears and keep them quiet.
Joking aside, Bobby now needs to put a camera up the horse's nose to confirm his initial diagnosis.
Right, in you go. In you go. Right, I'm looking at the larynx and the pharynx. Okay.
Depending on what Bobby finds, the 2-year-old could have to undergo complicated surgery to pull the larynx out of the way. This would be a major setback for the trainer.
His lungs look absolutely fine. Right, down to 110. Okay, that's fine. Right, this is not as bad as I thought. It's good to do for a 2-year-old, isn't it? Have a
Clean, isn't it?
absolutely clean.
Yeah.
The result of the scoping means the horse will only need a less serious operation called a hob day, where a small section of the vocal cord is removed.
It's quite a tricky one. It's right on the border. Certainly not a tie back, which is a major operation. It'd be just a straightforward hob day.
The longer you know, the bigger they grow, the more problems you have in them.
Well, what I would recommend then is to hob day him now.
Yeah.
And then John and see if the noise gets better.
The procedure has a 60% chance of success. If all goes well with the operation, Con could get his horse back in training within 6 weeks. We'll find out later how the operation goes.
See you guys.
There's 1 week to go until the London Marathon, and Jackie Jenner, Carly Stewart and Esther Ryde are all training hard in the Berkshire countryside.
I'm just relieved that it's all going to be over and the training's finished and we don't have to every night think, oh my God, here's another 5 miles to go tonight. 4 wins as well. So race strategy, Jackie? Survival and just follow the good-looking men.
All 3 of them work at Hen Knight's yard. It's hard physical labour. When they're not mucking out and feeding, they have 3 horses each to exercise on the gallops every day.
But Cora Radcliffe doesn't have to do this for her training.
They've been pounding the country lanes for 7 months now to give themselves the best possible chance on the day itself.
The training on the hole's gone well, so I think I'm pretty ready for it. I had a sort of a setback at Christmas time, strained my Achilles tendon, and all the lads were taking the mickey out of me, said I'd done a leg like the racehorses do. But luckily I've had lots of physio on it and that's gone really well. So I think I'm quite prepared for it.
Since probably November I've been training quite seriously. Most I've run is about 18 miles. Do sort of long runs at weekends, and in the week I run about 25 miles in the 5-day week with Esther.
And talking of Esther, she's indulging in one last massage to soothe her aches and pains.
Come on in. Hi, thanks. Sometimes hard on horses, thinking they're sort of machines, and when you're doing it yourself, you can relate a bit more to how it feels, you know, to be in training and what have you, and how important diet is. At least it kind of shows you how important it is for all aspects to be spot on in order for them to perform. Getting a bit nervous now. I can't believe how much when you see everybody else around you, you kind of realise you have to do it now. We can't
I've actually got to break into a run soon. I've never run this early in the morning.
So, but looking forward to it in a way.
Yeah,
but
getting it over and done with it.
Yeah, exactly. Looking forward to this evening.
As they approach the start of the race, it's not the 26 miles ahead of them that's causing the most worry.
They have a load of toilets at the start, fortunately. And then they have some portaloos round on the course, but obviously, like with 30,000 people trying to, if needing the toilet, they can get a bit busy and you have to queue and what have you, which isn't ideal. So sometimes a hedge or a central reservation or something along those lines.
Jackie has been allocated a different start point to the other two girls, and given the huge numbers of people here, it would be a miracle if they were able to keep track of each other.
Yeah, I think it's all starting to hit home now that we're actually here, and all those hours of training will be paying off. We're going to do it.
Good luck. Right, I'll ring you if we don't meet each other.
Definitely, and I'll hang back, yeah, and hopefully, yeah, see you at the end.
Yep, okay, well, good luck.
Bye.
Well, there's no going back now. Find out later on if they last the distance.
Love is in the air at Kingwood Stud. Well, not so much love as procreation, but procreation is in the air doesn't sound so good. There's no romance involved in this, no champagne or flowers, because when it comes to the business of sex with racehorses, it's just that, a business.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning at Kingwood Stud. New mum Mackenzie's friend is off on a special date. The mare's being sent to Dalham Hall Stud in Newmarket to be mated with a stallion called Dictat. The process is known as covering. If all goes to plan, Mackenzie's friend could be giving birth to her next foal in 11 months' time. Arthur Cripps has been Kingwood's driver for 10 years. He's an expert in escorting mares around the country. There's a long journey ahead and he can't afford to be late. Dictat has a full list of dates in his diary. So many women, so little time.
We should have the cover for 8 o'clock. So if all goes well, we should be there by about 7:45. They have so many covers that if you lose your shot, the slot for the day, then you have to wait till everyone else has been covered and you're at the end of the string type of thing. And I like to get on and get in there first and get away first.
Depending on the timetable, Arthur could be on the return journey in as little as half an hour. There isn't much time for romance in the breeding business.
It's not quite the way the humans do it, but it's wham bang and in and out sort of thing, and there's not a lot of passion to the job.
Dalham Hall is spread over 2,500 acres and is one of the most luxurious breeding centres in the country. The site is home to 13 stallions who live in luxurious conditions. Thanks to enormous investment from Sheikh Mohammed, every stable looks like the penthouse suite in a 5-star hotel. A covering session with a top stallion can cost as much as £150,000. But as an up-and-coming youngster, Dictat is a snip at 10 grand a go. Arthur has timed his journey well and is first to arrive.
Now they've travelled well this morning and they haven't sweated up or anything, so I think she's ready for the big day.
The queue for the Dalham Hall stallions is growing. Tic-Tac can cover up to 3 mares a day and around 100 in any given breeding season. For now, Arthur can only sit and wait his turn. Let's hope Mackenzie's friend doesn't get a headache. The Kingwood mare is led into the preparation area, accompanied by her new foal. The newborn colt needs to be close to his mum at all times, otherwise he'll get distress. Now, it's absolutely essential that the identity of the mare is double-checked and that Mackenzie's friend is sent to the right stallion. The tail is tied out of the way and she's fitted with boots in case she falls out with her date during the covering and tries to kick him. Finally, the mare is led in to meet her man. Up in the viewing gallery, stud director Liam O'Rourke watches on to make sure that everything goes to plan.
The mare has been prepared, the stallion is here, she is receptive. We're very happy that we can progress, and the stallion is obviously very interested because the mare is showing quite readily to him. She's in strong estrus and the actual covering will take place.
It's fair to say that Tic-Tac is keen to get on with the job. The mare is restrained by handlers and a device called a twitch is placed around her upper lip. It helps to relax her. It's all over in a matter of minutes and both horses seem quite pleased with themselves.
We're happy with that. She's happy, I think. She'll be pleased to get home.
Though everything has gone smoothly, no one can be certain if the covering has been a success. Arthur will need to wait 16 days to find out if Mackenzie's friend is in foal.
It's not guaranteed, no, because we may just have to come back again if it hasn't clicked, you know. So let's hope it has clicked, because it's a right drag to come right back to Newmarket. Keep our fingers crossed.
Mission accomplished and Arthur heads back to Kingwood. We'll find out later in the week whether the journey was worth it. Back in Lambourne at the Equine Hospital, the 2-year-old by Nashwan has arrived for his throat operation.
How did you bang his head? Was that done last night?
No.
Is he a bit of a nutter? Is he? In theory, we should ask the trainer to have the shoes taken off before surgery, because where we knock them down, there's quite a soft floor, and the metal shoes will cut into it. So Kate now is just taking the shoes off for me, which is kind of...
But while the horse is being prepared for surgery, Bobby notices that his ankle is swollen, a common symptom in racehorses, and ironically one that worries Bobby more than the breathing difficulties.
2 little bones at the back of the fetlock there, where the suspensories insert. The suspensory is a ligament which goes down the back of the cannon, and they insert into these 2 little sesamoids, and there's a distal sesamoidian ligament. So basically it's a structure which holds up the fetlock when a horse is cantering. Now, if you have a problem there, like sesamoiditis, then you'll get a lame horse, and possibly it might not even run. It might be a horse which just cannot be an athlete and will have to be retired. It's quite a common injury, especially in young horses.
Bobby decides that the affected area needs to be x-rayed, but he'll have to wait until after the surgery for the results.
And I think we're about ready to go, are we?
Equine surgeon Trevor Sainty and his team prepare the young horse for the throat operation.
Big fellow.
Trevor hopes that operating on the vocal cord will improve the horse's breathing and his chances of turning into a top-flight racehorse.
Because the larynx isn't open fully, the vocal cords then obstruct the airway, and we're going to remove the vocal cord and the pouch behind it so that it clears the airway and it allows him to breathe easier. So it's known as a Hobday procedure or a ventriculectomy, and that's basically what we're going to do now. Just making an incision through to the bottom of the larynx. You can dilate that open, so now we're right into his airway.
Less than 10% of horses need adjustments to their vocal cords, but the chances of the 2-year-old being cured of its breathing problems are pretty good.
I'm just clamping off that membrane now.
In more than half of the cases that go to surgery, the operation is a success first time.
Membrane that lines the pouch behind the vocal cord. We remove the pouch from the other side so that he gets as full an opening airway as possible. With these we leave the wound open to heal by second intention. If you suture them, because it's draining from the inside of the airway and not sterile, they develop an abscess, and these heal down extremely well without scarring. That takes about 2 weeks for that wound to heal. He's going to take about half an hour to recover from anaesthetic, so he should be on his feet fairly quickly, and usually bringing them out of the recovery box 15 minutes after they stand up.
The surgery has gone well, and anaesthetist Kate waits for the patient to come round.
It's a good thing really that he's sitting in sternal quietly like that. Some of them, as soon as they regain awareness, immediately try and stand up before they're ready to, and that's when injuries potentially can happen. But looks like he's being quite sensible. I mean, touch wood.
In the treatment room, Bobby has the x-rays of the 2-year-old's foot, and it's not good news.
There's the fracture there. What's happened is the suspensory ligament has pulled a chip off the sesamoid, probably as a foal. That looks quite an old injury. And prognosis is not good. I don't think Con will be very happy because he's going to have to break the news to the owner that this horse, which they bred, might not be an athlete and might have to be retired even before it's gone into training. Hi Con, it's Bobby here. Your horse has done well, operation went fine, he's up. But those x-rays we took this morning, and there's an old chip off the lateral sesamoid. That's definitely old, yeah. I'm surprised that the horse wasn't, or the foal wasn't lame when he did it. He was a bit shocked that there was a chip there. Templeton's had it all the time. I've seen horses like that function perfectly well, but obviously there's a greater risk for that horse to go wrong when you're in faster paces, when it's getting close to a race or in a race, than a horse with a normal fetlock, you know.
Before he leaves for the day, Bobby does his final ward rounds and checks up on the 2-year-old's progress in the recovery room.
Hello, how are you? The incision looks really good. Hasn't swollen up very much. Occasionally you get them to swell absolutely hugely. So they have such a problem breathing that you have to do a tracheotomy. But he's done extremely well, and he'll go back to Cons for 6 weeks in the box rest, and then he'll be put out to grass. I think the operation will be a success.
Well, the colt's future as a racehorse may be doubtful. But for the girls, it's now or never. The London Marathon is about to start.
Oh God, this is it now, running for 4.5 hours. I wonder how the other two are feeling. I bet they're feeling nervous, Esther and Carly. Here we go. No turning back now.
If they complete the course, the girls will run more than 26 miles through the streets of London. Grueling in anyone's book, but today the sun is beating down, which will tire out the runners even more. Esther is just a couple of minutes behind Jackie.
I don't feel too bad at the moment. Legs are dying a bit, but generally not too bad. Only 8 miles to go, so if we can try and kick on a bit now.
At the end of the 26 miles, Paula Radcliffe does pip the girls to the post, but Jackie finishes in a very respectable 4 hours, 19 minutes.
The hardest thing I've ever done. I never, ever want to do it again. But I'm glad I've done it. That's one of my ambitions achieved. Knackered now. I set off a bit quick. I followed the 9-minute miler and set off the first 10 miles a bit quick, and I hit the wall quite early on. So it's been a struggle most of the way. Glad it's over. I've done it quite a good time, so chuff with that.
Well done. And Carly and Esther weren't far behind.
Oh God, that last 5 miles were just sheer hell. My knees just were killing me, and I just wanted to stop. That was just awful. The worst bit was just absolutely horrendous. We'll stick to riding horses and training them, and they can do the work more so than me in the future. I think I'm retiring.
On tomorrow's programme, the ladies of Eastbury prepare for the annual fete. Will everything go according to plan? And we'll join in with the fans of one of the Valley's most celebrated residents, 3 times Gold Cup winner, Best Mate.